What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Rock of Truth podcast. My name is Jake Sopko. I'm here with Nick Statterman. Before we get into it tonight, we're going to have a quick word from our sponsor, Danco Transmission and Auto Care. Danco Joe is offering a special promotion to celebrate this brand new partnership. Call Danco to schedule any service and receive a free oil change when you mention Rock of Truth podcast at the end of November or whenever Danco Joe comes to his senses and stops giving away things. Go to danco.com. Route 4 in Fairfield. Tell him Soppy sent you. Nicholas.
Hey, Jake.
How we doing?
Doing pretty well, man. Happy Thursday. Bearcats victorious. So kind of carried that over into the rest of the week and have had a pretty good week so far.
You've had a good week. Is there any highlights that you want to share before we talk football? Anything exciting happen?
Highlight of the week.
I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but if there's anything.
No, man, just having a good week. That's a blessing in itself.
Highlights
is the Bearcats won, and we get a quick turnaround tomorrow night.
Quick turnaround, man. Those Friday night games sneak up on you.
Yeah.
But it's kind of exciting, you know. You feel like you got your whole Saturday to you now. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I feel like the shorter week, you're kind of always anxious to get to that next game. So having a Friday is always – I thought that was kind of nice. We played a couple Fridays.
We played a lot of Thursday and Fridays back in our heyday.
Used to.
You don't necessarily want to play on Thursday or Friday. It kind of makes the weekend more fun because you get a little bit like a different schedule. So I always thought it was kind of a nice mix-up, but I feel like you don't want to be a team that's playing on a lot of Thursdays and Fridays. It kind of gives you like a little bit of a action feel.
Right.
I think one or two a year is just fine. So we've been kind of playing a lot of Saturdays, but back on a Friday. How do you think people in Cincinnati feel about that with the, obviously high school football playoffs going on? You think that like kind of pisses off the average fan or?
It might. I didn't even really think about that. There's some good high school football games this weekend, but I don't know. I think the Bearcats will still carry their weight. I mean, nip at night, it's usually a packed house in there. So I just hope it's calling for some rain, it seems like, but it looks like it's going to be done maybe mid-afternoon. I don't think it's going to affect the fans. I think we'll sell it out again.
What's the weather like down in the Nasty Natty these days? Up in the Nasty Natty, I should say.
Dude, it was like 72 today.
Really?
And it's going to rain tomorrow, and then here comes winter. Nice high of 40. It's about to be looking gray soon. You know how Ohio is.
That's true. I lived there for 24 years, so I got a pretty good grasp. I actually survived my second hurricane. I don't know if I think this was a tropical storm, but if you want to call it a hurricane, 2-time survivor. No big deal. A lot of rain, a lot of wind around here, but nothing that we can't handle.
10 toes down over there. Nice.
Exactly. Enough about the weather, though. The Bearcats won another football game, 20-10 against the Navy midshipmen. I don't know. It was kind of a boring game. Like nothing too exciting to report about. You were there. The vibes were high. Were the vibes high?
I mean, it was a good crowd. It was military appreciation themed game as well. So nice planning by the Bearcats on that one. So there was a good crowd. It was very boring, but I don't know. I think you hit on it as you talked about at UCF, how you kind of were like, you knew we were going to win the game. Like, you know how you said you had that feeling, but also obviously we ultimately didn't. But you just knew going in we weren't going to lose. And I think the guys knew that as well. I mean, it felt like it was 20-10 for a long time.
Yeah, and that was something that I had written down in my notes was the last points that the Bearcats scored was at the 9:51 mark in the third quarter. So, you basically played the majority of the third quarter and the entire fourth quarter without scoring any points. And I think that's been kind of a big kicker for them this year. It just kind of feels like they're not really putting anybody away. And that's something that kind of bothers you a little bit. Obviously, like we say it every single week, we're not going to complain about winning football games. It's hard to do, like celebrate the wins, so we're not going to apologize for winning. But it just kind of feels like there's just this stagnantness, like they're not able to keep their foot on the gas, and maybe it's just I don't know, like a lack of leadership. I mean, you lost a lot of your stars and your leaders and last year to the draft and people moving on and stuff like that. So that could potentially be it. I don't really know what it is. It just kind of feels like they get comfortable and then it's like, all right, like we'll just, cruise until the clock hits zero. And it's a normal thing to happen, but really good teams, stomp people out. And it just doesn't really feel like we've been able to do that this year.
I mean, we haven't just really, I'd say the last couple of weeks, just what's tripped us up, we haven't ran the ball well. And we're used to kind of, beating teams in the second half. Like I remember third and fourth quarters, we used to do, that pulling away and taking a big lead. But maybe doesn't seem like we're really wearing teams down as much as we used to in the past. But because we've had big runs and big running games this season, but the last couple of weeks we've really struggled to run the football.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we even broke 100 yards rushing last week. I don't think we did.
55.
How much?
55. We barely got half of that.
Yeah, man, that's not good.
No.
It's not. And it's just shocking because we've been like a run dominant team since 2018.
Yeah.
It's kind of like was our bread and butter was the run, and they've really gotten away from it. One of the stats I had written down, Corey Kiner, one carry for 2 yards or whatever it was. Not going to keep harping on it. This is the last time I'll bring it up. Obviously, there's a reason he's not playing. I think, it's easy to make the argument like, he just got lost in the shuffle, the flow of the game. That's a super normal thing, and that's very valid. But I think at this point, it's been a couple of weeks. There's a pattern. Obviously, he's not playing. He's not getting carries. There's something going on. I don't have any like special insight or anything. I don't have any background information, but there's always a rhyme or reason for what's going on. So I don't know if it's off the field issues, practice, whatnot.
Yeah.
There's a reason he's not playing. He's not playing. So it is what it is. And I think it could also, part of it is that Chuck's having a great year. I think he's averaging over 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So just kind of getting him more carries is not a bad formula whatsoever for the team. But there's definitely something going on there. I don't want to continue to harp on it. So last I'll probably bring it up. But just wanted to mention that. And it was good to have a kind of a bounce back game for Ben. 25 of 35, 71%, about 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So it's efficient. It's good. Bounce back game. He hasn't had the best couple of weeks, so that's a good confidence builder there. Tyler Scott, huge to have back in the lineup. The offense just looks so much better when he's healthy. 10 catches for 139 yards. What do you have, 1 touchdown or 2 touchdowns?
2 of them. He had both.
2 touchdowns, 10 catches, 139 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that guy's smooth as butter. Get him the ball, good things happen. So happy to see him back healthy, and the offense just looks so much more explosive when he's available.
Jaden Thompson, I mean, he's been a breakout player for sure this year. 81 yards on 3 catches, like you said, efficient. Question about Corey. So let's say, if it's nothing off field or if he's just simply not healthy, then I get it. But, how much, if you think about it, do you think he doesn't maybe know the whole playbook? But how much do you take that and say, well, if I get this guy the ball, good things are going to happen? So how much, if it's a playbook thing, how much do you adhere to somebody's talent to be like, all right, I just have to get them the ball, so let me run the plays that he can run to get the ball?
Yeah, I mean, I think to make that excuse now, it's week
far along
10 of the season, and I know he wasn't there for spring ball, but I think at this point that argument is just so far gone. And running back, I think, is one of the easier positions to be able to play on the football field. I'm not saying it's easy, but in the mental aspect of it, I mean, you have to know protections, your protection rules, and then this play is headed for the A gap, the B gap, the C gap. That's where it's supposed to hit, and then you just
got a lot of freedom.
The vision takes over, and the rest is from there. You just kind of got to know, where you're supposed to go, and then you kind of take it to that next level. What's your responsibility in the pass game on each play and whatnot? I don't think. I mean, I doubt it's an issue with him knowing the playbook or anything like that.
Right. I'd agree.
I just think there's just something going on, whether they just don't have faith in him and, and protection or catching the ball. But, we've been asking to get him more carries for weeks. And, there's always a rhyme for the reason. So there's something going on. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Defensively, held them to 10 points. It's, the Navy doesn't run up any scoreboards, but I think, all in all, played sound. Just did our job defensively.
You don't get a whole lot of exciting stats when you're playing the triple option.
It's tough.
But I mean, if you hold them to 10 points, and I don't think we let up that crazy numbers and like rushing yards or anything like that, I think the defense was pretty solid. It was just kind of a little bit of a boring game, and that's what to expect when you play a military academy. Like, there's not a lot of fireworks. It's just kind of a grind it out type of game.
I noticed the last couple games, the other team, so Navy, obviously they're going to play fundamental as shit, but they only had one penalty. And I believe the previous against UCF, I think they only had one penalty too. It's just a random stat, but just something. I mean, we're losing the penalty battle, and I think we've lost that all year. So if Joe Met was here, he would be screaming about how undisciplined we are.
Yeah. And for those wondering, Joe Met, he's running basketball practice with the female girls. Unfortunately, their practice got switched, so he's not going to be able to make it. But obviously, that's been a huge issue for us this year and many years in the past, is just issues with penalties and being undisciplined. And, Coach Fickle, we both know, preaches being physical, playing through the whistle, giving him the business. That's something that he's okay with. If it's an aggressive penalty, he's okay with that. He kind of preaches that, but it's those, dumb penalties that he's not okay with. And that's something that maybe it's just a little bit of a gray line. But penalties have been a little bit of an issue for us for a while now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see it changing, because it's just kind of the culture that is just of the Bearcats, tough and nasty, Clifton style. You're probably going to get penalized for being that way. So
you got to like that. I mean, you don't like the penalties, but you want a team that's tough and it's got some shit to them, right? Don't want
putting bodies on the line.
We've always been, and for a while we weren't really that good, and we just kind of won because we had that mentality. And now we have the talent to go along with it. But
yeah,
I think the penalties are very frustrating, and some of them are inexcusable. But I mean, you want a team that's got some shit to them, and any Luke Fickle coach team is gonna have some shit to them. I can promise you that. I mean, that guy, that's what he preaches. He knows how to get people going. He's a great leader. So it's just one of those things you gotta kind of live with at this point, because it hasn't changed over the past couple of years.
What kind of Luke Fickle team do you think shows up tomorrow night, 8:00 in Nippert Stadium?
Hopefully the Luke Fickle team that's got some shit to them and, is ready to play football, because I think this game honestly really scares me. I think if it was in Greenville, North Carolina, where ECU is located at, I would be really nervous.
Oh, I'd be terrified.
I always had trouble there.
Well,
that stadium.
Talk about that field.
How it's like concave.
So listeners, if Sopko is standing on the ECU sideline and I'm standing on the Bearcat sideline, I can't even see this guy's cleats. I mean, that thing is a mountain.
It's absolutely bizarre. I don't know how it's like legal to play on that field.
Okay. I was going to bring it up because I don't understand that either. Like, I remember at playing there, and it was like early in the first half, and somebody in the flat was wide open, and Dez, like, the ball just went zooming past us at like way high, and I'm like, how is this allowed? Like, it's so wild.
It's bizarre, and it's one of it's definitely like a health concern. I know there's been a huge debate lately in the NFL, like turf versus grass, and grass is way better, prevents concussions, and I don't know the statistics, but it sounds like grass is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's got to be a well kept field, and it has to be, you know what I mean. And this field, it literally is like a mound. It's absolutely bizarre. There's no way that it shouldn't be legal to play on that. It's wild, and that
like,
place there, like it's
to
a
run,
big,
my bad, to run from like the sideline to the numbers, like you're huffing and puffing. That's how running up that hill, wild. But I liked playing there. That was one of my favorite road games. Not gonna lie, it was cool.
Big stadium.
Yeah,
crowd was always rowdy.
Fans were
like really like very mean.
Mm-hmm.
They had like very intense, like mean fans.
Yeah.
It was always kind of like makes it more interesting. And I always felt like we went there and like it was just always a trap game. Like we just never picked the best football there, and we get ourselves into like some shit situations. So I think that we're at home makes me feel better, but this ECU team's pretty good, man. I mean,
they traveled well to BYU, went out there and got that win. It was a really good win by them. I think it's a team again that's got, they're circling this game on their schedule as well. They definitely have come close to beating us. They have beaten us a few times, but I think this is a big game for them. Bigger. I'm not saying maybe that it's bigger than for us, but I know they're going to have a lot more maybe hunger for this game. But
yeah, and they got
Bearcats, so I mean we got to prove what kind of season we're going to finish with, and yeah,
exactly. They're 6-3. They're coming off a bye, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and they've won 3 straight. So I got their I'll pull up their schedule here, but they were kind of on and off to start the season. Lost to NC State week 1 by 1, a game that they should have won. I remember I bet on that game. I bet on NC State. And ECU should have won that game, honestly. They lost to Navy in double overtime. And they lost to Tulane, who's the best team in our conference right now. But the last 3 weeks, they beat Memphis in a shootout. They kicked UCF's ass, honestly, who beat us. And then they went out to BYU. We know Provo is a super hard place to play. Yeah. Beat BYU in Provo, had a bye week, and now they're coming here. So 3-game win streak and a bye week. They're probably feeling really confident where they're at right now.
I bet you they're going to watch a lot of that UCF film.
100%.
I bet you they've been watching a lot of that.
And 100%. And I would expect them to bring a whole lot of pressure because that's kind of what we struggled with against UCF. So,
which is fine. We can get that ball out. We got guys out there. We just got to get the ball there.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, team gives us trouble. Obviously, the big kickers that we're at home, we have that win streak, so you got to feel more confident at home. They're averaging 467 yards of offense per game, so high-powered offense. Holton Ayers has been their starting quarterback for like a decade.
Unbelievable.
I feel like I've played against him and coached against him 9 times. So the fact that he's still there, that's one. There's always those guys in college football. They're like, dude, that guy's still there.
Yeah,
he's one of them. Just big left, Ben Roethlisberger looking lefty. Just
he literally just throws like a catapult. He just like chucking grenades.
Chuck and duck. That's kind of how he rolls.
Which I like because our DBs, they used to eat all the time against him. So I'm excited. He's got a new set of DBs to go against too, which will be fun. He just sits back, just chucks it. Just gives us a lot of chances to pick that ball off. So
yeah, and the last offense that we played that threw the ball like that was SMU, and they didn't do anything for us versus us in the pass game wise. I mean, Tanner Mordecai had an awful day against us, and then the next week went through 9 touchdowns, or maybe two weeks after we played them, through 9 touchdowns.
Wow.
So shout out to the Bearcat defense giving him problems and making him work for the 120 yards that he had. I know he got hurt and whatnot, but yeah, this is the best passing game that they faced since SMU. I think it'll be a great challenge. They really stack up evenly if you look at the numbers. We're both they're averaging 32 points a game. We're averaging 33. They're putting up 467 yards of offense a game. We're putting up 408. They're allowing 392 yards a game. We're allowing 322. So numbers aren't that far off. I think it's just going to be, we have the advantage at being at home and who's going to show up. Really, it is, because we come out there.
I wonder how much they're going to use their running back, Keaton Mitchell. He's a beast. I think he leads the conference in rushing yards. He's got just shy of 1,000, 9 touchdowns. That's a lot, averaging 7 yards a carry. So I wonder, if the coach kind of knows how Ehlers rolls, are they going to spend a little bit more time on the run on the ground? But I like how we match up defensively. I think we're gonna. I'd like to see kind of what kind of blitzes we do this week. I could see us broadening the playbook a little bit defensively, getting some new personnel looks. D-line looked real healthy last week, and I think they can do a lot against this ECU defense or offense. Excuse me. Yeah,
let's hope so. I think the Bearcat fans got to come out early, be loud. I think the Bearcats got to start out hot. I think they kind of come around and, are slow, rolling, kind of sleepwalking. I think it could be a long game. I think it's going to be a close game regardless. But if they come out, take their shots early, find Tyler Scott early, I think it's going to be, make their lives a whole lot easier. I think it's going to be a really good game. I really do. I think it's going to be back and forth, close. Probably one of the better games that we've had in Nippert Stadium in a while.
I'm excited. It'll be a good time.
Question for you guys, because Chad brought this up the other night. Maybe it was last night. I don't know. We do too many shows. But he talked about I had brought up it was last night. We did our 3 keys, and I brought up utilizing the tight ends more because if they're supposedly an aggressive defense. So if they're going to be an aggressive defense, maybe you start throwing some short passes, intermediate stuff to Josh Wiley, to Lenny, who are the biggest guys on the field at any given moment and can go up and get the ball. That said, Chad said, especially running the 12, you're condensing the field as opposed to the spread offense that we tend to run. So, I mean, do you have any thoughts on either going tempo or getting the tight ends involved to try and do some different things? Like, what do you want to see, I guess, to change things up because they haven't scored 30 in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And if you get into a shootout with ECU, that's my concern is if you get into a shootout, I don't know that they come out ahead in a shootout.
Yeah. And you're not wrong. And I think when you brought up tempo, I think that's great. I could be wrong, but I don't have a great memory of them doing a whole lot of tempo recently.
They did it a couple times against in their last game. And when they were doing it, they ran it really well. They did tempo in that last drive against UCF when they scored the touchdown. They were running tempo because they're not giving people time to switch people out. And good luck keeping up with Trey Tucker and Tyler Scott.
Yeah, and usually how tempo works, it's like either you come out of the huddle and you say, hey, we're going to get the first down, and then we're going to hit them with tempo. It's something that's kind of like, a conversation that's had before the drive, or it's something like if we hit a big play, we want to keep it going. We don't want them to be able to, like you said, like sub people out and whatnot. So if we hit a big play, we're going straight to tempo. I think tempo would be a good matchup or a good switch up for us to kind of keep them on their toes. Like you said, I think it's going to be a shootout. Like we have to find a way to score more points and kind of, that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a shootout, and to kind of get Lenny and Josh the ball. Yeah, they're complete matchup problems. Once you get into the red zone, I mean, your playbook goes from like here to this. So you got to be able to find ways to kind of get them the rock. And I know Coach Gino's really, really good at that and formulating plays.
He's also been struggling in the red zone.
Yeah.
As you bring that up. So
yeah.
I feel like there might be a correlation between struggling in the red zone and not getting your NFL caliber tight ends the ball more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but
yeah. And I think it's just finding ways to kind of use that mirror, like that, all the dressing and whatnot to kind of the motions. So like the play that I talked about last week with Josh, where he motioned over against UCF, we got the right coverage, and he ran the quick glance route and whatnot. So it's just finding those matchups and just really finding ways to get them the ball. Like you said, I think that's the biggest way, is just kind of having a whole section within the call sheet of, hey, this is how we're going to get the ball to 11 and 81.
Well, it's not often that I get to talk without Chad interrupting me and get to talk to two former players. So I thought I'd throw that out there just to get your thoughts on that. So I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate the question. I don't think I had a great answer for you. I think I got to continue to think that through, but no, we appreciate you hopping
I mean, it was a little coach speaky, but I get you.
I tried. Statty, what do you think?
I mean, I liked what Aaron was saying, just kind of intermediate. I think where Josh gets, kind of separates himself is when he does get the ball in the flat, and then next thing you know, he's covered 15 yards. Like, yes, his deep threat ability is special as well, but I mean, he does a really good job at catching the intermediate routes and just gets vertical and uses his lanky, slender body to just work up the field and get, good yak. So I like the tempo thought, but what's really cool about those two is, you could say it's 12 personnel, but Wiley can also go out to that slot where just Lenny T's on the line. And I think that's going to be a really good look. You can even have Lenny get into that wing position. So now you're really opening the field a little bit more. And
I think if you're running tempo and you're doing that, where you're either running Josh out or bringing him back in, like, you can't sub out for that. So you have to either choose, are you going to stack the box and then you let Lenny run out? Like, I think that's how you can easily disguise some plays without having to do too much.
Yeah, and then you get speed Trey going the same way and hitting you on the backside. Yeah, I agree. I like that. I think we can definitely do a lot more misdirection with the guys we have.
I'd love to see them honestly get a little bit back to the tight end, hitting the end and leaking out to the flat and faxing over.
Mm-hmm.
That was Denbrock's special. That's what just got Josiah drafted in the third round.
He was a tight ends coach, right?
Exactly. And it got, and then Josiah was great at it. And then Josh and Lenny kind of perfected it. And I don't know if you watched LSU versus Alabama last week, but they run that play.
I don't want to give Brian Kelly any more eyes for the attention and all of that, but
they run that play. Denbrock calls that play every other play, and when you have a running quarterback like that, I mean, essentially what it turns into is the triple option, right? And that's what we did with Dez. We ran the triple option with the ability to give it, pull it, or dump it to the tight end. I mean, you have all these different options, and he was really good at that, and that was like a staple of our offense. We haven't really ran it all that much this year, but it's a great way to get the tight ends involved. It really is. It's a harder play to run if you don't feel like your quarterback's a run threat. I know they do run it, but just not as much as we used to. And just watching Denbrock call it over and over again with LSU, it just took me back to the days. And I was like, man, it's a great play. If you can run it well, like, it's hard to stop.
That's the hard thing about watching LSU, though, is you want to be happy for Mike. But God, BK is there talking about everything else.
Exactly. That was a wild game. And Statty, you called it. That 2-point conversion call was the exact play that Clemson ran to beat Alabama in the national championship. Wow. Conversion.
Yeah, you liked that high IQ.
That was a high football IQ text that you sent. You were like, that's the exact same play that Deshaun Watson threw to Hunter Renfrow. And I was like,
Renfrow drafted. Yep.
Oh, I'm going to bounce out. I wanted to get that question in, just get your thoughts on that, but I appreciate it, fellas.
No, we appreciate you hopping in here.
Little update, Jake. Looks like the Bearcats basketball team's finding their way tonight. 56-47, 7 left to go in the half. So I guess they're –
you want to make a comment on the basketball team?
Our fearless leader not being here and Joe Met on the hoops, I I don't want to do him a disservice by stumbling or, stubbing my toe on something. But I just think personally, from the little that I know, we're going to be a successful team if David DeJulius leads us in scoring. Like, I think we go as far as he takes us.
Okay.
Other than that, we can get more into that when Joe gets on the show. He doesn't maybe agree with me, but nothing new there. But I don't know. What do you know about the hoops? Much?
So I'm like your very typical hoops fan, college hoops fan. Like I don't really check in till like end of January.
Yep.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like
it's
when I
football season.
check in once football season's kind of over. I'll be like, oh yeah, there's college basketball on, and then I'll kind of pay attention. And then obviously when March Madness comes around, I'm all in. I watch every game. I bet on every game. I make brackets. I act like I know what I'm talking about, and I'm 10 toes deep. That's kind of how I roll. NBA though, I follow like
I
from
can't do it.
from opening night. I've been on that. Just
Well, you guys got a fun team up there, and obviously no NBA in Cincy. Like, I've just always liked players in the NBA, and I can tell I'm getting old because I tried to watch the Nets and Knicks last night, and it's just hard, very hard to watch. But
I had that on too in the background. It was just like so.
I'm like, I could just go to the Y and watch this. I mean, it's a little bit more skilled, but they're just running up and down, chucking. Like,
The Cavs are fun to watch, but they're very fun. They're young, but also like I'm a Cleveland boy, so like it means something to me. Like I don't know if I would really like sit down and just watch. Like I did try to watch like the Nets and the Knicks just for fun. I was like, I really don't give a shit about this. Like I guess I only really care about the Cavs until it becomes like playoff basketball season.
right.
But that's probably how most. I don't know. I don't want to say that's
Yeah,
how most.
I don't
NBA
know. I mean, I'm not. Basketball is probably arguably my favorite sport. I really like it. Like, I get into college basketball probably when December hits, but yeah, it's still football season for me.
I feel like you are a big college basketball guy. Dude, I miss playing pickup, man. I really miss you and Matt just running it.
Yeah, I'd be scared for if we did that like tomorrow. I don't know if all of us are gonna make it out.
I'm so out of shape, dude. I'm going home for Thanksgiving, right? And
Yep.
do you guys play like a turkey bowl or anything
Oh,
with like family or friends? Do you do that?
Yep.
Yeah. So me and my buddies back home, we've always did that. So we started doing it like my sophomore year of high school. So I did it for, high school. And then I think, when I redshirted, I was able to come home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'm playing that, but I haven't played in the last like 5 or 6 years just because like we've always had football and I was coaching and whatnot. But I'm flying back home.
For the
Well, yeah, for Thanksgiving, but yeah, for the Turkey Bowl. So I'm like, damn, like, I'm super excited, but I'm like, damn, I'm out of shape, all this stuff.
Oh, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and now I didn't even know this till like a couple years ago, but like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is like the biggest bar day of the year. So like
Yes.
we'll all be hungover and everything. But anyway, so the Browns didn't play on Sunday, so I'm watching the football games and we're like watching it, and at halftime, I'm like, all right, like been watching haven't thrown a football in a while. Would love to spin the rock. And then I'm like, dude, I gotta get ready for the Turkey Bowl. I gotta get back in shape. Gotta get my arm back in shape. So, I make my girlfriend Avery and I go outside. Yeah, and I'm making Avery run routes for me.
How would you like if she was a wide receiver on Madden? What's her overall and why? Give some attributes and overall.
Like 73.
That's pretty solid.
So she's like sneaky athletic. And
Okay.
she might be able to hear me. She's sitting on the couch. She's like sneaky athletic. She doesn't look like she'd be, and she's like pretty fast. She's got decent hands. She can't track the ball well, like the over the shoulder catch. That's not the deep ball is not her go to. But it's kind of cool because we can actually play catch because she has like a very strong arm. So she's able to like actually catch it. We can we don't have to be like 3 feet from each other. Like we can really kind of air it out a little bit.
Nice.
But yeah, dude, I was trying to like get her to run routes, getting her to come out of her cuts and whatnot. I was putting on the plate, put the ball on the money. I still got it, dude. I can still spin it a little bit.
Did you look like kind of like Vince Vaughn and Wedding Crashers Hot Route? Were you doing
Yeah.
that or? Okay.
Yeah, I was screaming like 180, 180, like all that stuff.
Yeah, love it.
So that was great. Threw the ball for about 30 minutes. Walked back to the apartment. Shoulder was throbbing in so much pain. Immediately so sore. That's kind of when you know you're getting old.
Yep.
After
You
throwing
hit my shoulders.
minutes, just felt like my arm was gonna fall off. But gonna continue the training, dude. Huge turkey bowl. Gonna continue training, getting in shape. Gotta air it out. Show that I still got it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. You have to go out there and execute and put on a show. Do you know what are you gonna wear a jersey? You gonna wear Cozart?
The Cozart jersey is too nice.
Okay.
The Cozart jersey is too nice. We always wear a jersey. I've still got like a solid amount of football jerseys that I can run through. There's like 15 or 20 I probably still have, honestly.
I used to rock the red Mike Vick Falcons.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Probably one of my favorites.
I haven't thought about it yet. I bought a couple. This is a fun little story. So I have a Dolphins Zach Thomas jersey, linebacker. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He's not. And the backstory on that was I used to be like a Dolphins fan when I was little. For some reason, just like always kind of liked the Dolphins. Like I was a Browns fan, but like I always kind of liked the Dolphins.
Yeah.
First like non like Cleveland, or I was a Buckeye fan, so like Ohio State jersey that I ever got was the Zach Thomas Dolphins jersey. So I had that growing up, have a bunch of pictures in it, and then there was one time I was actually at Millfest at OU with a bunch of high school buddies, and it was probably noon. And dude, they're different in Athens. Like they get up, get after it, like nothing. I couldn't handle it. Like, but it was like noon, and we're at this like fest, and I look across the street, and there's this dude wearing the exact Zach Thomas jersey that I had when I was a youngster. And I was like, that's amazing. Yeah. I want that jersey. And then I bought it online real time. Like I found it on some like eBay or something. And then I forgot about it. And then like a week later, I was at UC in my apartment, and a huge Zach Thomas jersey showed up at my door. And I was like, this is awesome.
Zach Thomas.
I've been waiting to wear that. I think I'm going to the Browns Dolphins game in Miami this weekend. So I'm going to wear the Cozart, but I kind of feel like I should wear the Zach Thomas jersey.
You're probably nervous for your defense against the Dolphins.
Yeah, Tua. Yeah, dude, Tua's going to light them up. That's not even a question.
He at least got Myles Garrett.
Yeah, he's pretty good at football.
I guess we should go back to the Bearcats. I mean, I'm pumped for you for your Turkey Bowl.
Thank you.
I just don't know if our listeners are as excited. I hope they are, but maybe get it on film.
Yeah, maybe I'll make a documentary about it or something. Yeah.
But Bearcats headed into tomorrow night. Now 6-point favorites. You got a prediction? What's your final?
Yeah, like we said, I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a really close game. I don't think they're going to cover because I think it's going to be like 3 points and within.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can put up some points, man. We've been critical on them, I know, because they haven't looked great, but I still believe in Coach Fickle. I don't know why you wouldn't. He's a great coach. He's a great leader of men. He's going to win football games. I believe in Coach Gino. I know people are upset. I love him. He's a mentor to me. He's a really, really good football coach. And if you could like be in meetings and hear the way he talks about football, it's just different. Like this guy just sees the field, sees the game different than other people do. I mean, he's really talented. I think he's going to have the offense back on track. They're due. I'm going to go 33-30 Bearcats.
Is that with a game-winning field goal again?
I don't think it's going to be a game-winning field. I'm going to say the defense is going to make a stop.
Yeah, on a fourth down. Fourth and 4, own 34.
Yeah. I'm like the –
Can we nail the ball for once?
Can we what?
I want to see the victory formation.
I'd love that.
I miss it, dude.
Dude, that was my go-to, man.
Yeah, I want to see
That's the only time I got the game. It was the victory.
I want to see Sopka take the field. All right, my prediction. I like how you're talking, hyping up the offense. I like it. Let's go. I think we're gonna fall short of the 30. No, we'll go dead on 30. We'll go 30-24. 30-24 Cats.
I like that.
I hope they don't score 24. I think it's gonna be tough for them to score 24, but I think they're gonna have a lot of possessions where they are an electric offense, like you hit on, so they're gonna score. But yeah, I love what you were saying. We're a 7-2 football team. We've got coach of the year on our sideline. I mean, yeah, I don't see us dropping it here. I think it's a big game for the rest of our season. We got everything still in front of us. Then we're the biggest Tulane Green Wave fans, so we need to might as well have them keep the train rolling.
Yeah, go Green Wave, playing their little minor league baseball stadium. That's their home stadium.
The football stadium.
Yeah, it's not a minor. It looks like a minor league baseball stadium.
Yeah.
They have like a high school football stadium. It's bizarre.
Yeah, very very tight.
Not a fun place to play.
So tonight we're gonna do something a little different with the locks of the week. Sopko, Jake, you wanna hit more on that? I mean, it's your guy.
Yeah. So Joe Met's out. We don't have a special guest. It's just been me and Statty, shooting the shit for 40 minutes. So we're gonna end it with our locks of the week as we always do. We got a special guest we're gonna pull in here because he's got a couple locks that he wants to share with us. Danco Joe. Danco Joe, can you hear us?
Showing your mic's muted.
It's showing a problem with your mic. Is your mic?
Helps when you unmute button.
There you go.
You got me good?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Okay, good deal. What's up, fellas?
What up, man?
I'll just jump right in here, man. Let's talk Cincinnati. First of all, I do think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to stay away from the points, but I'm going to tell you, this is the first week. I'm just going to drop it right now. Cincinnati's one of my locks, and I'm going to lock them up on the money line. We're going to do a little parlay. This is the only week that I've ever bet Cincinnati. Okay, really? I've been staying away. But look, man, look at the winning streak at home. They're not losing this game. They're not losing. Is it going to be close? Probably. I hope we're all wrong. I hope it's a freaking blowout.
Yeah.
Which, sure. It's just as sure as I'm sitting here, that could happen. But, 100%. You never know. What's this team, I don't feel going into a game, I don't have that feeling that I did last year, like, oh, we got this. I just haven't had that, man. They haven't given it to us. They haven't given us a reason to feel that way. But they're at home. It's nip at night. I mean, come on. We got to go.
Here we go.
And they're in the all black blackout.
Finally.
What more could you ask for? I like you bringing the vibes, Danco Joe. I feel a lot better about the Bearcats than I did 2 minutes ago. You came in here, you got me fired up. Now I feel like they're going to blow them out. keep going. Keep the vibes rolling.
Yeah. Right on. I mean, I would love to see it. I will tell you, we got to line up and stop the run. We got a really good running back coming in here. Chad's been talking about that all week. This guy is nails. He's been great all year, but hey, we know what's coming in here. We know what we got to do. And I really like our defensive front. I don't know if we're going to put 4 guys up there. What are your thoughts on that? Are we going to keep 3 guys up there or 4 as much as they run this ball?
I think maybe based on different personnel groupings, they might change it up. But I mean, I don't know. Our 3 down front, they do a great job for only having 3 guys, and we're allowed to open up, make it a little bit more space so we can bring more backers in, bringing our nickel down, just play around more in the back end, more eye candy for the offense to look at. So I don't know. There's gonna be moments. Obviously, we'll have 4 down, or maybe in that base with Jack linebacker on the edge, but. I think we're so accustomed to the 3 down front. It's something we're going to stick to, kind of how Jake and I were talking about earlier. Like, we're going to be a tough, nasty, physical defense. It's, that's going to explain the penalties. But I think they stay 3 down.
Yeah. They say 3 down the majority of the game.
Yeah, why go away? No, don't need to change for anything for them.
Yeah, I mean that's what they've shown, true to their colors. 2 minutes to go in the basketball game, by the way, Bearcats up 8. So
there we go.
The Vikings giving us a run.
The Vikings are always sneaky, man. They're always sneaky in the horizon.
Yeah. It's a good program in the horizon.
So here's what I want to do. I want to do a little 2-team parlay because this Bearcats money line, not the greatest value going with the money line. So let's mix it up with a little parlay.
Okay. What is it? What is it, Joe?
I got Ole Miss plus 12 against Alabama.
All right.
I really like this game. I actually like Ole Miss to win this game.
Whoa.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, they're dangerous. They're dangerous.
Saban?
And they are very similar to Tennessee. Very similar.
Didn't Kiffin coach for Saban?
Yeah. And nobody knows him better.
What's the stat? Doesn't he not ever lose except to Kirby Smart?
Well, we'll see. Yeah. He did lose one last year to Texas Tech, right?
All you need is 12.
So I like that as a 2-team parlay. And they were going out west. I don't really do the Pac-12 very much, but I really like this. I like the under at this UCLA-Arizona game. They put 70 as the number on that. There's no way that number is coming in. I think UCLA is probably going to score like 40 points, but Arizona ain't scoring 30.
I thought
they're bad. They're a bad football team. I
thought the same thing, but Arizona State put up 36 somehow. You think that's just a spirited team without a head coach? Like they got because they fired Herman, didn't they, early in the year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought 36. They scored a lot. I mean, that's 80.
I like that. There. I like you, Danco Joe, going with the under. I don't think we've had any over-unders called out yet. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple unders I kind of like on the board this week, but that one kind of stuck out to me. I'm gonna stick with those 3, and I think that I'll be pretty good on those. We'll check back next week. You can see how I finished out. I want to hear what you guys think about your locks this week.
We got to go quick review for last week's locks.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I just jumped right in.
Yeah, you're fine. I just wanted to give a quick review. Soppy with Tennessee, heartbreaker. The whole country got their heart broken, I think, on Saturday with that one.
I know. Yeah. I felt good about the Volunteers. I was riding the wave, felt like a team of destiny. Found out Georgia's still pretty darn good, man. They're still the team to beat.
That is, yeah.
They dominated that game. The Tennessee +8 never had a chance. But it is what it is. You live and you learn.
We got to give it,
man. They held the number 1 team in the nation to 7 points. That's a pretty damn good defense.
Yeah, that is.
We got to give a shout out to our buddy Ty Spawn. I mean, that guy comes on here, picks a 17-point underdog, and Michigan State goes out and wins the football game.
Yeah, that was a hot take too. They were coming off like a scandal, and he called that out. And I was like, I don't know if I would touch that, man. And he had the sauce that night. He was giving great breakdowns of how to stop the triple option, his passion for high school football, and then he comes out and he gives a lock of the week that hits with ease, man. Ty Spawn, A+ guest.
Good work. Our other leader, Joe Met, called that upset. Good work there with Notre Dame. The Irish getting it done. Clemson. So I was seeing they're thinking if they went out and win the ACC, they think they're still going to be in. Like, no way. I don't think they can be. I think they lose another football game this year.
I think Clemson is some frauds. First, shout out to Marcus Freeman. Huge win, biggest win of his young head coaching career. I know we're all big Freeman fans on this podcast, so happy for him. Dude, I think maybe it's set up for Clemson, but I think anybody who watches it, the eye test, I think Clemson is some frauds. I don't think they're that good of a football team.
Yeah. And then Sopko, look out, dude. I think I'm getting hot. 2 for 2 last week.
TCU and UCLA both hit?
I'm pretty sure UCLA 11.5. They won by 14. There you go. TCU was that noon game. What did we say? What was it? 8.5?
8.5.
Yeah. Won by 10. Look out now.
ECU, number 4 team in the country right now.
3 out of my last 4.
Good for you.
They got a tough one with Texas this week.
Yeah, I had that written down. Do you want me to hop right in? Did you have that written down?
No, you got it.
So I had three of them written down. I have TCU +7 on the road against Texas. As you just mentioned, TCU is hot. They're the number 4 team in the country. I think that's a tough matchup. But I do think +7 is a lot of points in that matchup for them to be the underdog. I like Tulane -1.5 at home against UCF. We touched on that game too. That's a slow number. I think UCF's kind of frauds. Mm-hmm. So I like that. And then LSU -3.5 at Arkansas. I know it's kind of like a trap game after them beating Alabama. So I get that. I don't think Arkansas is very good, though, unfortunately for us. Unfortunately for Bearcat fans, I don't think Arkansas is the team that they were week 1. They've struggled. They've had some injuries and stuff like that. So those are the 3 games that I like.
I think LSU wins.
What?
I think LSU wins.
Oh, 100%.
That's a scary spread.
I honestly really like all 3 of those games, but if I have to give one, dude, I'm going Tulane. I don't think UCF is. I know they beat us. I know now they're riding high. I don't think they're as good as people give them credit for. I think Tulane's pretty good. They're at home. I think this is going to be a statement win for them. So my lock of the week is Tulane -1.5 against the UCF Knights.
That's a great one. I really like that a lot. I really think it's a good one there, Jake. Talked on them a little bit, but I'm going to go stay in that SEC. I'm going to ride the number 1 team in the country. They're on the road at Mississippi State. I just think they're going to continue to dominate the rest of their conference, and I think the Bulldogs are going to roll. Big number, -16, but we're going to take the Bulldogs.
I like that. I thought about that as well.
What's your favorite game you're looking at for this weekend?
I think it's a lesser week of matchups. To be honest,
pretty nice.
What is
the 3:30 slate looks like the best if you had to pick, but yeah.
Alabama, Ole Miss. I think Louisville, Clemson is going to be kind of close. That UCF Tulane game over on ESPN2.
Maryland might hang around.
Who do the Terps got?
At Penn State, or this is the game where Penn State looks like a top 10 team in the country again.
Yeah.
It's the Penn State way.
There's potential. Danco, Joe, how are you going to spend your Saturday? What are you going to do? The Bearcats are playing on Friday. So are you going to hop college football? Or are you going to go to Home Depot, run some errands? What's that looking like?
So I do have a couple of honeydews to get done,
Yeah.
How to do this, how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I'll be tuning in to college football. Bearcats win 58-69. That's a lot closer game than I thought it would be.
Basketball. Nice.
Anyway, yeah, man, I'll be tuning in to the games, checking on my locks. I kind of like that. I kind of like that parlay. I do like the action in the American this week. This probably some pretty good slate of games as far as to bet on. I do like the Tulane game. And did I hear you say LSU? I must have missed that. They're only 3 points is the number on that game.
Yeah, 3.5 at Arkansas.
Yeah, that's they could. I think they could run up and down the field on Arkansas.
I agree.
I mean, even at Arkansas, I've been there. It's not that tough to play there.
I love it.
You just got to hit your field goals.
Yeah. Yeah. Could have been. Yeah. You're not wrong. Danco Joe, I thought of you this week, man. Car battery died for the first time in my Jeep Wrangler, and I had to get a new battery. And I was like, man, if I was in Cincinnati, I know where I would go for this. I was thinking of you. I wish I would have been in the Nasty Natty when this car battery gave out.
It's been Bearcat Journal week this week too, man. Tomorrow we got Brent Young coming in. He's coming in the shop for some brakes. We're gonna fix him up on the fly before the game, and then just yesterday, my boy the show Ryan Royer showed up. We changed his oil. I hooked him up, and we went to lunch and had a nice lunch. It was fun.
Did he say that Soppy sent him?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's actually electric.
We love the show. We actually talked about having him on today at some point, but we figured we didn't need him. And then, we're like, no, we got something better.
Way better on our sleeve.
Danco Joe.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, you guys got anything or
what's Friday night? What's your game plan for tomorrow night for game day? Are you leaving the street early? I mean,
I'm going to try to leave about 4. Get down there no later than 5. I think I'm going to grab a pizza and bring it down there and maybe tailgate with the pizza. No tent action. I'm just bringing a table. It's going to be, why the hell you need a tent? It's going to be dark.
Yeah.
Just go down there with some ice cold bevies and some pizza and get ready for the game. I think it's going to be a fun one. I told my brother today, I can't remember being excited for an East Carolina game.
How are people supposed to find your tailgate, Danco Joe, if you don't have the tent up?
Well, they're just going to have to look for me. They see me on all these pods now, so
you and your brother you and your brother are spitting images of one another. So you find one, you find the other.
Somebody told me he is a good-looking man.
What's the pizza selection going to be? Mio's, Martino's, La Rosa's? What are we going with?
So I'm a big fan. I'm a big Mio's fan, but it's hard to go wrong with the Beast. I'm probably just going to go to Adriatico's and hook up that Beast.
Killer.
By the way, basketball wins 11-point win over Cleveland State. So
is that what it's called? The Beast, or is it called the Bearcat? What's the big one called?
The Bearcat.
The Bearcat. Yeah.
Bearcat. Yeah. We still. My roommates always used to get that in college. People love that. I loved Mio's. I was a big fan of Mio's. Their pizza.
Yeah.
A little bit more expensive, but I always enjoyed going there. Martino's is good. And then dude, what's the place out in what's the bar down yonder by Max, dude.
Pizza
Max is a good bar.
Max.
Yeah, Max is a good bar. Max has got a good pizza. I was always a big fan of that as well.
That's a great
try it.
Yeah, Max is good.
You got to go in there for happy hour, Danco. We'll take you.
Yeah. Dude, I got to get back to Cincinnati, man. I got to get back to the game. I got to get back. Talking about the pizza place is making me sad. I miss it. We'll take Danco Joe out for a good time around campus. It'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
I was telling Ryan Royer to come down. He didn't even know if he was coming to the game. I'm like, dude, you got to show up, man.
100%.
Got to do what you got to do.
We need the show there.
How about you, Statty? You coming down? You going to be at the Jerry Gate again?
I don't know what I'm doing yet, man. I'm not getting out of the office as early as you are, so kind of got to still coordinate a game plan. I was thinking of headed down to tailgate. Don't have a ticket, so I don't know. Might have to enjoy this one on my couch.
All right. Well, call me. I might have something for you. So just holler at me.
All right.
I got you. You got my number.
Yeah, I got you.
I like it.
All right.
I like that.
Well, all right, fellas.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Danco Joe, appreciate you hopping on, giving your locks of the week. I feel confident in them. You seem confident in them, so I'm confident in them. Statty's on a hot streak. We're going to ride that. And, the Tulane Green Wave, Bearcats need them to kind of go out and kick ass. I feel confident they're going to do that. Joe, Matt,
I got them all down. I got all of our wagers down. Matter of fact, I am going to put a small parlay on all of them all together, just in case we have an epic week.
The Rock.
And that would be a nice little payoff.
I love that. I love your energy. I love your confidence.
And then there'll be no more fading the Rock.
Exactly. We're putting that shit to bed this week.
And fade the Rock.
You put it to bed last week.
Yeah. We're hot, and we're going to continue. We're going to continue to ride the wave, ride the momentum. So big game tomorrow. I think we all think it's going to be a close game. Could be a shootout. Could be a huge win, man. If we come out, play well tomorrow, like we all know that we're capable of doing. I think it's just going to like skyrocket us to finish out the end of the season. We know we got a couple big games coming up, even after this one. So huge game. Excited to watch.
As you said at the beginning, I hope they mix it up a little bit. Hope they can get to the tight end. Bunch. I mean, you got to mix the tight end. We got some weapons at wide receiver. You know, we've shown. I don't think we're going to try to run the ball a lot. I mean, it's just not the makeup of what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't think they're going to be trying to run it a whole lot. So, you know, let's throw that pill all over the place and let's do something. You know, mix it up and I want to see this team be exciting, man. You know, and I mean, let's do it.
Yeah, it's there. It's going to happen. And hopefully this is the week that it happens. So, Danco.
Okay. I hope you're listening, Gino. This is for you, baby. Come on, mix it up. Let's go.
Let's go, Gino. We love you, Gino. And on that, we're going to end it.
We do.
Let's go, Bearcats.
All faith in you, Gino. All faith in you, Coach. Let's go.
Let's get her done. All right, man. Go Cats. This is fun, boys.
We'll see you guys.
Yes.